Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel once again. My name is Nicole Letaru and you're most welcome. If it's your first time to subscribe and to check out my page, you're very much welcome. And those of you that are not new to my page, you're also welcome again. So today I want to talk about some interesting experiences that I've had while living here in India, particularly Ahmadabad, where I currently live. I don't know much about other states, so I'm not really going to point out anything regarding other states, but I'm only going to point out the things that I have observed here in Ahmadabad. And these are just my opinions. If I'm wrong, you guys can also put your own comments and tell me your experiences. If you agree with me still, let me know. Comment it down below in the comment section and I'll be able to look upon them and maybe clarify whatever I'm going to say. So to begin with, I'm going to talk about four culture shock experiences that I've had here in Ahmadabad. So number one, I'm going to talk about staring. Now we all know when you go to another foreign country, most especially, I don't know if it happens to white people, maybe it does if they go to other foreign countries, but mostly as Africans, we face this a lot. There's so much staring because we are totally different. Our skin color, our hair, each and everything is different about us. So I remember when I arrived here, before me arriving, when I was at the airport and when I was going through the whole check-in process, that time I was in Dubai airport and I was now just waiting to board my last flight to come to Ahmadabad. And I remember the guy who was checking me asked me, wait, hold on, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to India, Ahmadabad. And he's like, are you sure? Aren't you lost? And I was like, why? Why would I be lost? I mean, if I am lost, then obviously I would have inquired. But it's here clearly stated on my tickets, this is where I'm going and this is the airport and the number that is written on my ticket, so I don't think I'm lost. And he's like, really? So you're going to Ahmadabad? And then he looked at my tickets and he looked at me. I think maybe in his mind he was like, okay, maybe he did not expect someone of this color to be traveling to India. I don't know, but to me it was really kind of weird because even in the plane I was the only black person and everybody was all staring at me. And oh my god, the atmosphere was really not so comfortable, but I had no choice. I was like, anyway, whatever. And when I got here, as if that was not enough, it was still a lot. Like, to be honest, in my life, I have traveled, but I have not really reached Asia and other European countries. So this is my first time actually being in Asia, but I have never really faced this kind of staring in my life like the way I did when I just came to India. Like, it was that crazy. Sometimes I remember there's a time when I was going to work and there was traffic on the road, but everybody had to stop just to look at me. I was like, seriously, am I some celebrity? Am I some god or what? And I was like, anyway, fine. And it kind of took me some time to adjust to it, but then I had no choice. I had to adjust, and now it's normal. Now I don't care whether you stare at me or not. I don't care. I mean, I will still continue living. I'll still continue doing what I have to do. So yeah, that is it. Number one, staring. And then number two, it's kind of nice, but again, on the other hand, it's also annoying. That is taking selfies. So Indians also have so much of this tendency whereby they come and stop you for selfies, because they want to have a different person of a different color, skin color, different hair to appear in their photographs. I remember there's a time I was traveling to another city in Rajasthan. It's called Jaisalmer. It's a desert. I was traveling with a couple of friends, and God, it was so annoying that one was Brazilian and the other one was Vietnamese, but most of these Indians kept stopping me to ask me for selfies even more than my friends. And I was like, okay, what the hell, we're all foreigners. So, but I don't know, I just noticed most of them were stopping me for selfies, and then they would touch my hair and they'd be like, wow, is this your real hair? How did you do it? Can you do it for me as well? And blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. And I every time I would go somewhere, I would not finish more than 20 minutes before somebody comes to take a selfie with me. Some would even bring their phones just on my face and take without even my permission. And I was like, hey. And that kind of pissed off my friends, and they were like, no way, Nicole, let's go, let's leave, no more selfies. And to be honest, it reached a point and it was really so irritating. So I told anyone, if you want to take any photo with me, you have to pay me, because I am a tourist attraction, so you gotta pay me, you know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I just find it kind of weird. Like, it was a very big culture shock to me, because I'm from Uganda, and to be honest, in Uganda we have so many Indians, like really really many Indians, and most of them even come from this state, come from Ahmadabad, but they do not stare at us like the way they do stare at us here in their country. You know, in back home everything is just okay, it's normal, nobody stares at you, but then here it's the opposite. So I kind of found that kind of strange and weird, but I mean, those are what you should expect while traveling and living in another foreign country. So yeah. And then number 3, I'm going to talk about transportation. Now God, transportation is really really so annoying. Why is it a culture shock to me? Well, in my country, basically we are more used to taxis. Like, if you want to go somewhere, okay fine, we do have Uber as well, but not so many people use it compared to just normal taxis that you find along the way, and also some other cabs as well. But here what I noticed is you have to have internet. If you want to go somewhere, you really must have internet. Without it, life becomes hard. And even sometimes you cannot, okay fine, you may decide not to use internet because we have other options like the autos, but it becomes so annoying when you have to direct them. And you know, like, there's a time I remember I got one, and then I told this guy, I gave him the address of where I was going, and then he was like, oh, yeah, Tike, I know the place, you know, Tike means yes, fine. And I was like, okay, cool. And along the way he began asking me in Hindi, so ma'am, where is the place? And I was like, seriously, I thought I just did explain before me entering. I mean, I don't know this place, this is your country, you should know it better. And to be honest, like, I was supposed to reach in that place in less than 30 minutes, but trust me, we took more than 45 minutes. He kept on stopping along the way to ask so many different people, and it was just so inconveniencing. Trust me, if you have an emergency, maybe an interview or anything, you might end up missing it just because of this inconvenience. Because back home, whenever you want to, go somewhere, you just get into the taxi, tell the conductor where you're going, and they'll drop you there. Or we also have people who ride these motorbikes. You can as well give them the directions, and they know almost each and every place, and they'll just drop you there. And it's the same thing with Uber. Like, I also find it so weird. I don't know, like, a real culture shock to me, because you have the map with you, you're an Uber driver, but you still have the guts to ask me for directions. I mean, come on, each and everything is there for you, so what am I supposed to do? How else should I direct you if you cannot utilize the map that is before you? God, that is really so shocking. Anyway, and then the last point that I want to talk about is animals. Now this one, I really kind of found it so weird. Number one, I'm going to talk about cows. Yes, I understand cows are not eaten here in India, and I also got to hear that it's actually one of their gods. I really do respect that. But there's a time I remember I was also going somewhere, and then there was a lot of traffic on the road, and I was like, what's up, what's keeping the traffic? Only to see that a car was actually crossing the road, and it was all moving so slowly like a princess, and everybody had to literally wait until this car got off the road. But you know, it was moving so slowly, and I was like, I'll leave it at that. And then number 2, I also found this kind of weird. So in the society where I live in, there are so many pigeons, and there's a place just across my apartment where there are very many pigeons, and there are people who usually feed these pigeons. So I thought maybe anyway it's just like any normal thing, but then I don't know, I got to discover that they actually feed these pigeons as a sign of worship. And I was like, okay, wow, that's really interesting. That's another new culture shock experience for me. You know, it was a sign of worship. Sometimes even so many vehicles stop by just to feed these pigeons as a sign of worship. I don't know if I'm really right about this, but that is what I inquired from some few sources here and there, and that is what they told me. But if you have a different view about that, please let me know. And then the last one that I want to talk about, which I really saw as funny and at the same time a very big culture shock for me, are the dogs. Now there are so many dogs, so many street dogs here in Ahmadabad, and I don't know, it was kind of weird. There's a place called Food Truck. I usually go there with a friend, and we usually go and eat chicken, like whenever we want to eat chicken and stuff like that. And there are usually so many dogs around there, you know, so sometimes they come sitting next to us so that we can throw them the bones. But there was this particular dog that I was throwing, I threw the bones, the chicken bones for it, and it did not really eat that much. And I was like, okay, if this was dogs in Africa, by now this would be done in just a second, you know, because they love meat a lot. You'd rather not give them anything but give them meat, and they will show you what it means to eat beef. But these ones were just there, you know, so calm. And then the funniest bit was when we were going back home with my friend, we bought ice cream along the way, and one of the dogs just out of the blue came barking at us, and it was walking towards us. And then it stopped, and I was like, oh my god, what does this dog want? And my friend was like, give it some ice cream, who knows? And to my shock, I threw for it some ice cream, and it ate this ice cream in just a second. And I was like, what? Oh my god, this is so crazy. So you mean dogs here are non-veg, meaning they would actually eat ice cream or any other veg foods and not non-veg? And I was like, whoa, okay, that was like really something new to me. So anyway, yeah, those are some of the culture shock experiences that I wanted to talk about, most especially here in Ahmadabad that I'm living in. I don't know much about other states, but in case if you have also other different experiences in other different cities, or even in this city as well, please feel free to comment it on my blog below, and please do subscribe on my page. Remember to like it as well. And yeah, that was all I had on my end, and thank you so much for listening to me, everyone, and to have yourself a lovely day. Yeah, bye bye, I'm out.